The signal commander Elena Reyes rubbed her tired eyes as she stared at the monitor. 36 hours on duty at the Ganymede Deep Space Listening Post had left her exhausted, but the anomalous signal pattern flickering across her screen demanded her full attention. "Dr. Patel, you need to see this," she called to the station's lead scientist. Arun Patel floated across the low-gravity communications hub, his expression changing from mild annoyance to intense focus as he observed the monitor. "That's not random. Noise," he whispered, reaching for the console. "The pattern repeats with mathematical precision. Run it through the Xenocom protocol." Elena nodded. Initiating the protocol developed for the theoretical detection of non-human communications. For 70 years, humanity had searched the stars for signs of intelligent life. Now, on a routine shift in 2157, that search might finally have yielded results. The computer analyzed the signal for several minutes before displaying its conclusion. 99.87% probability of artificial non-human origin. "My God," Arun breathed. "We need to contact Earth Command immediately." Within hours, the signal had been verified by 3 other listening posts throughout the solar system. Within days, it had become the most analyzed piece of data in human history. Admiral Winston Chen stood before the United Earth Defense Council, his weathered face grave as he addressed the 20 representatives from Earth's unified nations. The signal originates approximately 42 light-years away in the HD 85512 system. Our linguists and mathematicians have determined it's a distress call, an SOS broadcast across the stars. Chen paused, allowing the weight of his words to settle. "It was sent 19 years ago." Counselor Adeyemi from the African Coalition leaned forward. 19 years? Then whatever emergency prompted this message has long since been resolved. "Perhaps," Chen acknowledged. "But this represents humanity's first confirmed contact with an intelligent alien species. The implications are profound." "Do we have any indication of what caused their distress?" asked Counselor Zhao of the Asian Alliance. Chen gestured to Dr. Sofia Rivera, Earth's foremost xenolinguistics expert. The petite woman stood, her voice steady despite the historic nature of the briefing. "The message contains mathematical sequences that, when decoded, appear to reference an invasion or conflict. We believe whoever sent this was facing an existential threat from another species." The chamber erupted in overlapping conversations until Council President Martinez called for order. "The question before us is simple but momentous," Martinez said. "Do we respond? And if so, how?" The debate lasted 3 days. Some argued for caution. Humanity had only recently unified after the resource wars and was still establishing its first colonies on Mars and Europa. Others insisted that sending a response was humanity's moral obligation, even if they arrived too late to help. In the end, the decision was made. Earth would not only respond to the signal but would send a fleet to investigate in person. Recent breakthrough in the Alcubierre warp drive made interstellar travel possible, if still experimental. Admiral Chen was given command of the mission, with the newly commissioned UES Prometheus as his flagship. Over the next 6 months, Earth prepared its first interstellar expedition, 5 warships, 2 science vessels, and a diplomatic corps headed by Ambassador Leila Takahashi. Commander Reyes, whose vigilance had detected the original signal, was assigned as Chen's executive officer. On the day of departure, she stood on the Prometheus's bridge watching Earth shrink in the view screen. "Preparing for warp initiation, Admiral," she reported. "All ships in formation and reporting ready." Chen nodded, his eyes fixed on the stars. Ahead. "Take us out, Commander. Warp Factor 1. The Prometheus shuddered as the warp field enveloped the vessel, bending space-time around it. The stars stretched into streaks of light, and humanity began its first journey beyond the solar system, responding to a call for help that had traversed the void for nearly 2 decades. In the darkness between stars, they couldn't know that. Their arrival would forever change the balance of power in a galaxy that had never encountered beings from a death world before. First contact as the UES Prometheus dropped out of warp at the edge of the HD 8552 system, Commander Elena Reyes felt her heart racing. After 2 months of faster-than-light travel, they had finally arrived at the source of the mysterious signal. Sensors. Online, Lieutenant Kim reported from the science station. Detecting 3 planets in habitable zone. The second planet shows signs of civilization. Artificial structures, energy signatures, and orbital debris. Admiral Chen frowned. Debris? Yes, sir. Consistent with the aftermath of space combat. Some debris fields appear fresh, no more than a few months old. Ambassador Takahashi exchanged concerned glances with Chen. Whatever emergency had prompted the distress signal 19 years ago apparently hadn't ended. Multiple contacts approaching from the planet. Security Chief, Jackson announced. 7 vessels on intercept course. Defensive posture, Chen ordered calmly. No weapons lock but shields at full. Open all communication channels. The tense minutes that followed were broken by an unexpected transmission, in English. Unknown vessels, this is Overseer Alara of the Nyari Remnant. Identify yourselves and state your intentions. After a moment of shocked silence, Chen responded. This is Admiral Winston Chen of the United Earth Defense Fleet. We received your distress signal and have come to offer assistance. A pause, then. Distress signal? That was sent nearly 20 cycles ago when the Krell first invaded our outer colonies. You are from Earth? Yes. 3rd planet of the Sol system. Another long silence followed before the alien voice returned, now trembling. With what sounded like emotion. The Deathworlders have come. Request permission to dock for direct communication. 6 hours later, humanity had its first face-to-face encounter with an alien species. The Nyari were slender, graceful beings with iridescent blue skin, large eyes, and elongated limbs. They moved with a delicate precision that suggested an evolution in lower gravity than Earth's. In the Prometheus's conference room, Overseer Alara explained their situation. The Nyari Confederation had been a peaceful, technologically advanced civilization spanning 3 star systems until the Krell Empire began its expansion 20 years ago. We are scholars and artists, Alara said, her large eyes blinking rapidly in the ship's stronger lighting. When the Krell demanded our resources in submission, we had little military capacity to resist. Dr. Patel studied the holographic display, showing the regional star systems. Your technology seems highly advanced. Your ships appear to have capabilities beyond our own. Alara made a gesture that seemed to indicate ironic agreement. In propulsion, energy generation, and computation, yes. But weapons? Defenses? The concept of interspecies warfare was foreign to us before the Krell. Why did you send a signal? Specifically to Earth? Ambassador Takahashi asked. You couldn't have known of our existence. Ancient probes, Alara explained. Centuries ago, our scientists detected unusual radio emissions from your planet. Later probes confirmed a civilization developing on what we classified as a death world, a planet with extreme gravity, atmospheric toxins, dangerous predators, and radical temperature variations. Chen raised an eyebrow. Earth? A death world? By galactic standards, yes, Alara continued. Most intelligent species evolve on gentle worlds with minimal environmental pressures. The theory was that any species surviving such harsh conditions would develop unique capabilities. As if to demonstrate, Alara lifted a metal container that had been sitting on the table. The effort seemed to strain her slender arms. This contains 20 of your kilograms. Few Nyari could lift it without mechanical assistance. Commander Reyes picked up the container with one hand, her expression surprised. This is considered heavy for you? The Nyari delegation exchanged meaningful glances. The signal was sent in desperation, Alara admitted. Many thought it folly to call upon an unknown species, but some believed the Deathworlders might possess the physical resilience and aggressive instincts we lack. The discussion was interrupted by an urgent communication. A Krell patrol had detected the human vessels and was approaching rapidly. On the bridge, tension mounted as 3 angular, predatory-looking ships appeared on the view screen. They're charging weapons, Security Chief Jackson reported. Shields up, Chen ordered. Evasive pattern Delta. Without warning, the lead Krell vessel fired, the energy blast striking the Prometheus's shields. The humans and Nyari watched in surprise as the shields held with minimal power drain. Their weapons technology is less advanced than their propulsion systems, Lieutenant Kim observed. Alara seemed astonished. A direct hit from a Krell destroyer would cripple any Nyari vessel. Chen nodded to Commander Reyes. Show them what Earth ships can do, Commander. Target their weapon systems only. The Prometheus's advanced railguns and laser arrays fired in precise sequence, disabling the Krell vessel's primary weapons without destroying the ships themselves. The entire engagement lasted less than 2 minutes. The Krell are retreating, Jackson announced, unable to keep a note of satisfaction from his voice. Alara's large eyes were wide with astonishment. In 20 years of conflict, I have never seen Krell forces retreat so quickly. Chen turned to the alien overseer, his expression serious. Tell us everything about these Krell, their numbers, tactics, weaknesses. If we're going to help you, we need to understand exactly what we're facing. As the briefing continued, a disabled Krell scout transmitted images of the brief battle to its fleet commanders. In a distant command center, War Master Krex of the Krell Empire viewed the footage with growing concern. Identify these new vessels, he ordered. They fight with unexpected skill. His intelligence officer bowed. Preliminary analysis suggests they originate from the third planet of the Sol system, a world our survey ships avoided due to its extreme environmental conditions. Krex's reptilian features hardened. Deathworlders, he hissed. Prepare the battle fleet. They must be eliminated before more arrive. The Krell Empire had dominated through fear and superior numbers for decades. They had never faced a species that evolved in conditions where everyday survival required strength, endurance, and aggressive adaptability. They were about to learn why technologically advanced civilizations throughout the galaxy had always given Deathworlds a wide berth. The counterattack 1 month after humanity's arrival in the HD 85512 system, Admiral Chen stood in the war room of the hastily established Joint Command Center. The holographic display showed a troubling reality. A massive Krell battle fleet was assembling at the edge of Nyari space. They've never committed such forces to a single offensive, Overseer Alara said, her voice tight with concern. Not even during their initial invasion. Chen studied the projected movement patterns. They fear us. Our arrival has changed their strategic calculus. The initial skirmishes had demonstrated something unexpected to both sides. While Nyari technology was generally more advanced than humanity's, Earth's military capabilities were superior in crucial areas. Humans had developed weapons, armor, and defensive systems to a degree that peaceful species like the Nyari had never needed to contemplate. More importantly, human soldiers could operate in environments that would incapacitate most galactic citizens. Higher gravity, temperature extremes, and toxic atmospheres, conditions that would require extensive support systems for Nyari or Krell, were merely uncomfortable for humans. The reinforcements from Earth have arrived, Commander Reyes announced, entering the command center. 15 additional warships and 5,000 troops. Chen nodded. After the initial contact, Earth had mobilized its forces with unprecedented speed. The United Earth Defense Council had recognized both the humanitarian imperative and the strategic opportunity. Helping the Nyari meant establishing humanity as a force for good in the galaxy, while simultaneously gaining access to advanced alien technology. We cannot match their numbers, General Santos, commander of Earth's ground forces, observed. The Krell can field 20 ships for each of ours, and their ground troops outnumber us 50-1. Numbers aren't everything, Chen replied. Our ships are more resilient, our weapons more effective, and our troops. He paused, looking at the Nyari representatives. Our troops are adapted to conditions that would kill most Krell without their environmental suits. Ambassador Takahashi, who had been working closely with Nyari engineers, stepped forward. We've integrated Nyari energy technology with Earth weapon systems. The effective combat power of our fleet has increased by 40%. Throughout the command center, human and Nyari personnel worked side by side. The elegant, slender aliens with their advanced computational skills complemented the physically resilient, tactically aggressive humans. It was a partnership neither species could have imagined mere months ago. "The Krell expect us to defend," Chen said, manipulating the holographic display. "Their entire strategy is based on overwhelming force against fixed positions. We won't give them that opportunity." The plan that emerged over the next hours was unlike anything the Nayari had considered in their long conflict with the Krell. Rather than defending key positions, the combined fleet would execute a daring counterattack against the assembling Krell forces. 3 days later, as the massive Krell armada prepared for their final assault on Nayari Prime, 25 Earth warships and 15 Nayari vessels emerged from warp, directly within the Krell formation. The surprise was complete. "All ships commence firing," Admiral Chen ordered from the bridge of the Prometheus. "Target their command vessels first." The battle that followed would later be studied in military academies across the galaxy. Human warships, enhanced with Nayari technology, struck with devastating precision. Krell vessels, designed to overwhelm through superior numbers, found themselves outmaneuvered by the more agile Earth ships. On the ground, the difference was even more pronounced. A Krell force attacking a human Nayari outpost encountered Captain Maya Rodriguez and her Marine unit. The Krell, accustomed to the physically weaker Nayari, were unprepared for humans who could match their strength and exceed their endurance. "They rely too heavily on their environmental systems," Rodriguez reported after the engagement. "When those systems are compromised, they lose cohesion quickly." The Krell had evolved on a world with stable conditions and few predators. Their success had come from discipline and numbers, not adaptive resilience. Against humans who could function effectively in a wide range of hostile environments, they found themselves at a fundamental disadvantage. The turning point came 16 hours into the battle. War Master Krex's flagship, targeted by a surgical strike from Commander Reyes's tactical unit, lost power and shielding. The Krell commander, faced with unprecedented losses, made the decision that would reshape galactic politics. "All Krell forces, disengage and retreat," he transmitted. "Withdraw to defensive positions in home territory." For the first time in their expansionist history, the Krell Empire had not merely suffered a defeat, they had been forced into full retreat. In the aftermath, as Nayari and human medical teams tended to the wounded of both sides, Admiral Chen met with Overseer Ilara on the observation deck of the Prometheus. "The Krell have sued for peace," Ilara said, her voice still carrying a note of disbelief. "After 20 years of war, they're offering non-aggression pacts and border guarantees." Chen gazed out at the stars. "They underestimated us both. You, for your adaptability, us for our resilience. The Galactic Council has sent representatives," Ilara continued. "Your arrival has disrupted certain assumptions about how species should interact. Because we came to help rather than conquer. That, and because you represent something many believed impossible, a species from a death world with both advanced technology and peaceful intentions." Ilara's large eyes studied him. "Many civilizations feared that if Deathworlders ever reached the stars, they would be unstoppable conquerors." Chen smiled slightly. "We had our warlike period, nearly destroyed ourselves. But we learned, grew, past it, and now you've changed the galaxy's future." Ilara handed him a data crystal. "The Nayari Confederation offers this as thanks. Star charts of 1,000 systems, technological specifications, and an invitation to join the Galactic Council as a full member." As the human admiral accepted the crystal, communication channels throughout the fleet came alive with news from Earth. In response to the Krell threat, humanity had accelerated its shipbuilding programs and defensive preparations. Over 50 new warships were nearing completion, and colonies throughout the Sol system had been fortified. "It seems," Chen said with a mixture of pride and caution, "that the galaxy has discovered why death worlds were always given a wide berth. Not because we're conquerors, but because when Deathworlders decide to protect something," Ilara finished, "nothing in the galaxy can stand in their way." 2 months later, as the first trade ships from Earth arrived in Nayari space and diplomatic envoys prepared for the Galactic Council meeting, a simple monument was erected on Nayari Prime. It displayed the original distress signal sent 19 Years earlier, alongside the human response, we received your SOS. Earth has sent an armada. Hold fast, the Deathworlders are coming. What had begun as a desperate call into the void had become the foundation of humanity's place among the stars. Not as conquerors, but as defenders of those who could not defend themselves. Throughout the galaxy, the news spread. The Deathworlders had arrived, and they had come not to dominate but to protect. For peaceful species everywhere, it was a reason for hope. For expansionist empires, it was a reason for pause. Humanity had announced its presence to the galaxy not with conquest, but with compassion backed by strength, and the galaxy would never be the same again.